Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. I almost forgot which podcast this was. I was about to say Devils After Dark, but yeah, never mind. Season 5, episode 23. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Tonight's title is New Jersey Devils Western Canadian Trip. That's what it is. Yeah.
Very nice.
Couldn't think of anything.
Very nice.
Couldn't think of anything.
New Jersey Devils, no frills.
Devils fly west for winter. How about that?
Yeah. Devils. They're on the road again. The Ramblers.
Devils dropping
again.
off players before trade to save money.
Devils, West Coast tryout. Who do you want? It's actually, that would be more fitting because that's it seems like that's what's going to be going on. So now we have an hour-long conversation of who's going to get traded and why and how and who and when and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're making a West Coast swing, man. Making a West Coast swing. And the first stop
is Vancouver. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Come on now. Get excited because we're going to Vancouver. And you know what's going to happen in Vancouver? We're going to stop in Vancouver and we're going to say, Pavel, bring your extra toothbrush. Maybe an extra pair of shorts because you're going to be hanging out here for a while and we're going to be taking Bo. Hey, Bo, come on, get on the plane, Bo. Get over here. Bo Horvath is going to be like, oh, gee whiz, guys. Thanks for saving me from this terrible place, Vancouver. Just kidding. Vancouver.
You should have drafted me back in 2013. You should have drafted me.
Y'all should have got me back then. Me and Bo Horvath sounds like he should be one half of the Duke brothers. Me and Luke were just jumping the old General Lee over that lake there, and we just found out that I was a part of the Canucks. So, yeah, maybe there's some movement, especially going into the Western Canadian trip. There's a couple of guys that they're interested in and have been rumored to be interested in. So maybe this is when they make the trade. When they go out there, they bring somebody and tell them to bring an extra an extra bag of clothes, if you know what I mean, because they're going to be hanging out here for a while. Or maybe not. Who knows? At this rate, this team's very confusing. It's very Jekyll and Hyde. So I don't know if they're going to make a move or they're just going to stay put.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, I guess we're going to I don't know if they're going to make a move this week as they're on the trip. I don't know. I think Fitzy will wait. If he does make moves, I think he'll wait to the last moment possible. Because we've seen what he feels with this team and how much confidence he has in it, but they do need to add some pieces, and I think the biggest piece is probably PK Subban that's going to get moved. Listen, I would like to see Pavel Zacha possibly traded, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. It's going to have to be for the right. It's going to be for the right deal. PK Subban, I'm pretty sure, is going to get moved just because he's on an expiring deal. And he can be pretty valuable for a team coming down the deadline. We've heard some other rumors about the old Coyotes looking to take advantage of the salary cap, possibly with someone like Andreas. Don't call me Andre Johnson Janssen, but I'm not sure we're gonna see. I'm not sure Zacha gets traded yet. I'm not sure about it.
You know, I don't doubt that I mean, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either way. It seems like every time you see that report of, like, you know, what teams have a scout at X game, there's a list of teams, and the Devils always find themselves in that list. And most recently, I think it was the Chicago-Boston game that the Devils had two scouts there, and one of them being their general manager, Tom Fitzgerald. So it's not a question of if or who. I guess it's a question of, like, who or when. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase that, but there's going to be movement. There's going to be some kind of movement. There's going to be some kind of trade. He has already reportedly had that conversation with PK Subban that he had with Paul Mary and Zajac the year prior, and kind of just prepping him to be like, hey, by the way, we're going to move you. Where is, you know, anywhere you prefer to go, kind of thing, which is, hey, that's a great thing to do. And I think it's a good thing to do, especially by somebody like PK Subban, who deserves that kind of respect. And, you know, not just be like, hey, by the way, you're going to Winnipeg tomorrow. So it's a good move. It's also interesting to see how many games that they have scouts at and how many games they're going to be looking at. So this team is it's a shame because there's certain things that are clicking, but that third line, if they're going to make a move, that third line right now has been just a hole. It's, you know, the Janssen, at one point it was Janssen, Tatar, and Zacha. It's just that third line seems like it's a pit, and whoever ends up in that third line has kind of just disappeared. So maybe one of those guys are movable. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next week.
We've heard the rumors with Janssen. We know Arizona. TSN was it Darren Dretter was reporting it about Arizona looking to try and kind of wiggle some cap room, because although Andreas Janssen has a $3.4 million cap hit next year, his front-loaded contract that he signed with the Maple Leafs in the last 2 years here pays him very, very little. I think it's like $750K, guaranteed next season. So we know the Coyotes are maybe trying to give it. I don't know. I see more like draft picks in that sense for that one. But we'll see what happens with Pavel Zacha. We have heard the rumors about Vancouver being interested in him, being able to play in that third line role. We don't know. An odd stat, you know, if you put the last 2 years together, you know, who's number one in goals on the New Jersey Devils? Pavel Zacha. So he can score. He's just so incredibly streaky that it's not reliable enough. He's been playing very good defense lately, a lot of good back checks. And And I think that has to do with something, before we get really, really deep into the old trade talk here, I do want to talk about the whole reason that the team is playing better and these last 6 to 7 games. Well, this last homestand, they played well on every single game. Even though they lost to Winnipeg, they played great that night. And that really has to do with the man in net, Nico Daws. And I don't know if anybody got to see the press conference after the last game, but he said something that I think all of us have been trying to dance around the past couple of years. But they were asking him about getting the win, and he says, yes, getting wins is important. It's important to win. I like that mindset. Okay, for the longest time, we've been always, let's let them develop. Well, okay, it's okay. Let them learn. Blah, 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 blah. Here's a kid who's a rookie, only, 15 games deep into his NHL career, if that. I don't know how many he played in that quick little stretch when he first came up. But
he's 5-8 right now. Or 5-3. 5-3. Sorry, 8 games in.
Getting wins is important. That's what he said. I love that mindset because that is going to feed into your defensemen and your offensemen and your forwards as well, because they're going to have that same sort of hunger, that same sort of drive when he gets those big game-changing saves, the momentum that he has. And then, after he said that, he said the most important thing is to keep growing and developing my game. That speaks to me like a maturity level above where he should probably be at his age. Because I know when I was his age,
he's 21.
I thought I knew
21.
I thought I knew everything when I was 21 years old. All right,
yeah.
I didn't need anyone to tell me nothing when I was 21 years old. I knew everything. It was only like a little later on that I figured out, Scott, you're pretty stupid. You don't know a lot of anything at all. And he's speaking like years ahead of his time. And those two things, there's some other stuff we could talk about as well, but those two things I wanted to ask you guys about. Just hearing that, seeing the smile on his face, getting wins is important. What's the wins? What? What? It's always been potential, learning, blah, blah, blah. Wins is important.
Well, I mean, I think it speaks volumes of what he's trying to accomplish, because he doesn't see this as a stopgap. I think he actually sees this as like, this is it. This is my opportunity. I'm going to seize the moment. I own it.
Yeah, it's the NHL.
I better never let it go.
Was he going to play in space or something like that? Yeah. Where else is he going to go?
Exactly. Well, this is his Eminem moment. You know what I mean? Like he's got mom spaghetti on his sweater, because he's looking to own it. And I'll tell you what, it's also interesting, and a lot of people kind of like dismiss it, but the trade rumor of Toronto going after Mac Black, some were like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Oh, it doesn't make sense. Blah, 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 blah. Rumors happen for a reason, whether they're legitimate or not legitimate, and whether they follow through or don't follow through. Rumors happen because there's a thread of truth in every rumor. A thread of truth.
Sheldon Surrey?
Well, except for that.
Yeah.
Unless you have some crackpot making up rumors.
Let's talk about just talk about Nico Daws. Let's talk about Nico Daws.
Well, no. That's what I'm talking about. The reason I bring that up is because Mac Black, the situation that he finds himself in with his health and concerns, whatever, even when he comes back and he's healthy, the way that Nico Daws has been playing, because Nico Daws isn't winning games 5-4. What the heck was that? Kettle drum.
Nico Daws. Nico Daws.
Yeah. But he's not winning games where he's like, he's winning 5-4. He let up 4, but the Devils still found a way to win. He's winning closer games. He's winning, especially last night. He won that shootout game, which is foreign. It's a foreign concept to the Devils now. Even in that Winnipeg game, the Devils at one point were pinning Winnipeg in their own zone, and I was like, damn, this team is pouring it on. How they didn't get out of that game with a win. Comrie stood on his head and was just kind of like an FU game to the Devils. That was thank you for cutting me for Aaron Dell. Here you go. This is what you get. Boom.
We were comparing him to the old Seinfeld Eric the Clown. He put out the grease fire on George with his big shoe. Yeah, thanks.
Exactly.
Thanks, Eric.
Exactly. But I mean, you look at Dawes in that game. Dawes played exceptionally well. That second goal by Connor was like insane. Up and like everybody thought it went off the crossbar into the crowd.
Yeah, everyone thought it was out of play. It went straight down. Yeah, that was just can't do anything about that one.
He's played exceptional hockey, and if you listen to the broadcast and listen, here, Scotty, before we go any further, I do have to say this: we have to pump our brakes a little bit because every time we went down this road with Keith Kincaid at one point, we were like, oh boy, here we go. Keith Kincaid taking the reins. He's going to take over as number one. We went down this road with Mac. Okay, listen. Everybody said that during that last playoff run.
I didn't say that. I can tell you that 100%. Keith Kincaid was not going to be our number one.
Sam will find the tape. Sam will find the tape.
Go ahead and find it. I am sure that I did not say that Keith Kincaid was going to be our number one goaltender. He had a hot streak. Cool.
A lot of people.
No way going to be. He got the Scott Clemenson Award for the year, and that was
obviously.
It. But then you go back to being the backup.
Point being is, I don't want to get too excited about what's going on, but at the same time, the stats don't lie, and his play doesn't lie, and he's playing very, very well, making some big time saves and some big time moments, and if you watch the Anaheim game, timely saves, but. Adam Henrique.
Momentum building saves.
Adam Henrique, is great to see him. Adam Henrique had a 2-on-1 where he had Dawes dead to rights. And I think it was still 0-0 at this point. He had Dawes dead to rights. And Dawes came sliding over, and not in that panic where it's like, whoa, like comes, slid over in position, boom, made a perfect save. I was like, damn, man.
Out. He plays with so much confidence.
Good.
He's on the top of the crease like all the time. I love it. Cuts down all the angles. It's nice seeing someone like that. Yes, Sam Wu. I see you there waiting patiently in the corner. Nobody puts Sam Blitzer Wu in the corner. Nobody. Sam probably doesn't know that movie either.
No.
I just do endless movie quotes, and he just looks at me and shakes his head like, nope. Don't got it.
Don't got it.
The thing about Sam Wu is, give us our thing about Sam Wu. The thing about Sam Wu is, go ahead, Beer Baron. Go ahead. Finish the sentence.
He doesn't know good movie if it bit him on the nose. Yeah.
We did a. The thing with the Devils is. We had a segment going like that. The thing with this Devils team is, go ahead, Beer Baron. Finish the sentence.
They disappoint you on a regular basis. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, not recently.
Not recently.
Winning 3 out of 4 at home. That's 6 out of 8 points. That's a 3-1 homestand instead of a 2-2. Pulling it out like you said in the shootout.
I still have a theory on that.
Oh, boy.
Here's my theory.
Oh, here we go. There it is. Yeah. First,
season
we released
tickets,
Damon Severson.
Season tickets payments this Friday.
Oh, this is your conspiracy theory. You bring this up all the time.
Conspiracy theory.
You said, to your credit, you did say this in like late November. You're like, you know what's going to happen? The Devils are going to go on a run in January. It's not going to matter because they're going to be out of the playoffs, but it's going to be just in time for the season ticket renewal. I swear to God.
Okay, so when is that? On Friday? It's due on Friday.
I think the first or second payment. If you're on the payment plan, I think it's every Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, third Friday of each month or something like that.
All right, so we'll see that. If they continue past this, then we can put your conspiracy theory.
Yeah, so they'll win.
Then, okay?
So they'll win back to back Tuesday, Wednesday. As soon as they got the money in the bank on Friday, Saturday, it's just going to be blown out.
Well,
in Edmonton.
here's the thing. Here's what I want to ask, because I already know Sam Wu and I talked about this on Devils After Dark. So we'll throw it over to Beer Baron right now. The man has been rolled. Ride, rookie, ride. Do you continue in the Dawes Pound for a back-to-back away game series there? Vancouver and Calgary, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Mr. Beer Baron, he's played in the last 7 straight. Does he make it 8 and 9 in a row? Nico Dawes on the road. What say you?
Yeah, I do say yes, because you know what? You ride this. You ride this. Yeah.
Wait, what's that?
Give me the sound effect.
You picked the
thing
one
about
sound
Nico
effect.
Dawes. The thing about Nico Dawes is that if he plays well against Vancouver, then you give him Wednesday.
Do you guys say go back to him if he keeps playing the same way? What if they lose? What if it's like the Winnipeg game where he plays really well but they lose?
Then you go back to him.
You go back to him. As long as he's
Okay.
playing well.
You go back to him.
Okay.
You ride.
The score is just a number.
And listen, the Devils won.
Whoa. Maybe you missed that quote from the goaltender. Getting wins is important. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting wins is important. Yeah. See, no more.
No mas.
Someone's holding some people accountable. It's our old goaltender over there. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nico.
Holding himself accountable, really.
Hey, by the way,
stand tall.
If Nico Dawes plays out the rest of the year, which it looks like it's going to happen at this rate, and Mac Black is good to go, and he comes back, does Mac Black
big question mark though? Big question mark.
Of course, it's a big question. I mean, he's got that weird thing on his heel.
Big injury, and I just want to point this out. We've never really had like a consistent string of like lengthy play for Mac Black. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of COVID stuff, a lot of things happen. We've seen the flashes, but the way Nico Dawes is playing, and the way I feel now, and the way I see the team playing in front of him, I have not seen this since like before the Corey Schneider injury. Really haven't.
I think if Mac Black is healthy, if he is healthy, you play him in April to get an evaluation on him and save Dawes for the playoffs in the AHL.
Yeah, but you also have Schmidt, who's playing really well in the AHL too.
There you go.
So happy problems, I suppose. But I don't know, man. Listen, you ride the wave as long as it's going to take you, and if it takes you another 15 games, because right now I think they're 23 and 33, 23, 33 and whatever. If they could get themselves near NHL 500, I mean, this is. Oh, so by the way, before I get into that thought, I need to jump. This is because my brain is jumping all over the place. I was reading a stat, and it can't be true, but I guess it is, that if the Devils won at least half of the games that they've blown the lead in this year, which I think is 9 games that they've blown the lead in, if they won half of those games, that they would be within a point or two of a playoff race. That's really depressing.
Wait.
I don't even know.
Half of 9 games is 10 points.
I don't know.
They're 22 points.
Maybe it's more than
maybe it's more
right now.
Maybe it's more. They would.
I don't know. Stacked right now. Maybe they would still be in like actual contention, but not in reality. You know. One second. I think Washington is the second wild card, and they have like 74 points or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Devils aren't even in the 50s.
Maybe in the Pacific.
I guess.
West.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a little bit closer.
Maybe somewhere else. Maybe somewhere else.
No, but they would still be in the hunt technically, but they would be like 12 points out or 10 points out, I think. The East is tough. There's just some really big teams in there. When your wild cards are the Bruins and the Capitals, you got some tough teams going on.
It's better late than never, though. But at least they got their special teams house in order on both sides. Because teams,
everything's been playing much better these past games. Like we talked about, Samu, it just seems like they're focused. They're focused. They're not getting distracted during the game. They're not losing their concentration on the play. They're just on it. If something goes wrong, they already know what to do. Their next step either way. And I think they were just thinking too much, and now it's just A or B, one or the other, and that's it, and go. And it seems to be working really well for them. I really think a big thing is having Nico Dawes behind them. Just the confidence that he gives them. He's a calm, cool dude, too. I don't know if you've seen the, his press conference afterwards. He just seems like he's having fun. He's really enjoying it. But he does.
Do you think he's the real deal? Do you think he is the real deal that the team can go forward and be like, hey, we don't have to go after XYZ in the offseason because we have a goaltender now.
See, I'm not ready to, give him all, the keys to everything, but I feel real confident. He's the first goaltender I've really felt like pretty confident in a long time.
So next year,
Mac Black, I never thought Keith Kincaid, Schneid's when he got hurt, yeah.
So next year, are you pushing your chips in the middle with Nico Dawes, or do you try to go after an established veteran? Do you move on from Mac Black? Do you trade Mac Black? Do you stick with Dawes?
If there's someone looking for him, I would say so, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzy tried to trade Bernier and keep Mac Black, just because Mac Black is still young. Maybe he does make a full recovery. It may take him like an extra season to recover from this heel injury. It seems to be pretty severe, and the injury that it is, or whatever the severity, it doesn't seem like it's going to be something that heals just over the off season. Like he may need some real time before he gets back to like Schneider. Schneider wasn't the same when he first came back. And then he got hurt again after that, and he just, was kind of not the same ever again. But when he first came back, you could see how slow he was, and he gradually got, built back up to game speed a little bit, and then he got hurt again, and that was it.
And that was that.
So I don't know. Maybe Mac Black comes back, but he only plays in more of a backup role because that's all his body can handle. I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens, but I definitely think, like you were saying, the emergence of Nico Dawes here has. It's well, listen. Let's see. Yeah, what do you got? What do you want to offer something? What do you got? Oh, okay. Yeah, why not? But Bernier had a hip issue, and we've seen how that goes, right?
Yeah, and that's the big. You might just end up eating that contract because even if they don't trade him, they might just have to, eat that last year's contract and make and cut him. But I mean, if Nico Dawes and Akira Schmidt, by all accounts, in the AHL level, has been doing fantastic. But the problem with him is he's gotten up to the NHL and he hasn't had as much success. Dawes was drafted with the clout of him possibly being the next heir apparent. So Dawes, not so much where everybody was jumping up and down like it.
They got him in he was third round or fourth round pick, right?
Somewhere around there. But I mean,
can you check that out?
He did come with pedigree where I remember that.
I think he's third round.
I remember when they drafted him, they were like, this kid could be your answer. And if Mac Black doesn't work out, then he could be one of the kids. He's not a Spencer Knight, or is that his name, Spencer Knight? I might have meant the dude that drafted by the Panthers.
Right.
Yeah, he's not.
He wasn't a top. He wasn't
top of the list,
right? But he was top 5. I think he was in the top 5, definitely in the top 10. I think he was top 5 goalie prospects that draft, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he was either. Yeah, I think it was either third. I think it might have been third round, possibly fourth. I can't remember now. You sure Sam was third? You going with that?
that's the thing is you don't necessarily need a goaltender to be a top 10 pick. You don't need, you look at some great goaltenders in recent years. You don't need to have that like, oh, he was a first round pick goaltender. Like, we just need somebody that's going to be consistent. We need somebody that's going to go out there and that's actually going to give the Devils a chance to win. And that's something that, like, recently they haven't had. Because even Mac Black, there's been games where Mac Black has been on his head like, man, Carey Hart who, or this, that, and the other thing. Like, Mac Black's much better, blah, blah, blah. And then he has games where you're like, dude, you just let up 4 goals and like 6 shots, and they were weak. They were like, all of them were like just straight weak shots, like not good. So I'm hoping that this is the answer. It would be nice if this was like, all right, cool, we finally found, the next. It doesn't have to be as great as Martin Brodeur, but it has to be. You have to have a very competent goalie.
Third round.
Look at what's going on with Jack Campbell and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jack Campbell was an all-star, and Igor Shesterkin was not an all-star. That should tell you something. But you look at what's going on there. The first half of the year, dude was on fire. But now they're having so many problems with that they're talking about trading for Mackenzie Blackwood or, So I just hope that whatever this is, it's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, if they do end up trading Mac Black, I think, Fitzy will wait to get a good deal. But I also think it might be a good duo where Mac Black goes more to like a backup role. Because I'm not, Bernier at his age and the injury, again, probably may need another season to completely heal and recover and be able to play at the NHL level. That's a big injury. He's got the hip, and then Mac Black's got the heel, and both of them, needed surgery to repair. It's not. So I don't know. I'd rather see Mac Black be able to take it easy. If Nico Dawes looks like he's ready to take the reins, I know it's only been this streak here, and it could all change. But if he plays well at the rest of the stretch of this season, I don't see how he can't be your goaltender going into next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's.
I mean, Sam Wu wanted to send him back to the AHL. That's Sam Wu, by the way, Nico Dawes. That's Sam Wu, not Scotty or Beer Baron.
He disappeared as soon as he said "damn straight," and he disappeared.
Yes. That's right. Sam Wu was the one also talking about you, Jack Hughes, and the turnovers. Remember, I love you, Jack Hughes. You just keep scoring goals and do what you do. All right?
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that, Sam Wu.
Notice when I call these players out, they start playing better because they listen to the Let's Go Devils podcast.
I'm sure.
Ty Smith,
it's true.
Keep cooking those steaks.
Number one on their podcast. I'm sure they got all the alerts.
Number one on their podcast.
Subscribes. Oh yeah.
Mad likes, dude. Mad likes. Going into next year, and this is another thing too, is the team could be structured a lot differently. You're going to see a lot of people moving at the trade deadline. It seems like, by all things considering, talking about PK Subban more than likely on the move. I'd be shocked if he's not moved.
I'd be shocked if he wasn't moved. Yeah.
Between now and the trade deadline, I'd be shocked if he's not moved. Is there anybody else that you feel is a deadlock to be moved between now and then?
Not anymore. I really don't anymore. I really thought Pavel Zacha would have been. I thought Lindy Ruff was going to get fired after New Year's. So I think with the way the team is,
he's on the block.
If he doesn't start
playoff teams need a face-off guy, a big centerman,
listen,
big body.
I'm the biggest McLeod fan you can find. I'm the biggest McLeod fan you can find. His face-off percentage has dropped, and he cannot score to save his life. So he better get his crap together, or he's out of here. Miles Wood, by the way, Miles Wood has been skating with the team and slowly making a progress. 4 guys, yep.
Nico,
Thompson,
Miles, Tice, and Yanni are all skating in the non-contact
in the gray,
the old gray, the grandma grays over there, the old non-contact jersey.
the BMW line, if that line was intact all year and Miles Wood was healthy, the production of that line would have been a hell of a lot better. But the problem isn't even the fourth line; it's that third line. I said it before near the open. Is that third line feels like it's a a black hole.
Well, that's another person I feel like might be definitely traded before the deadline is Jimmy Vesey. Anyone who needs a stable penalty killer, good fourth line player, can play some third line minutes, but like we talked about, I think he rather excels in that fourth line role where he can take advantage playing against other teams' fourth line in the offensive side. You know you're going to get good penalty killing out of him, and he'll be very responsible defensively. So I can see some teams in the playoff hunt that maybe would want to pick him up. Thomas Tatar, well, he's got another year on his contract, so that might be
He's starting
tough.
to heat up. He's
starting to heat up, but I mean, he really doesn't. I mean, what's he got? 11 goals now. I mean, that's not really like anything crazy. He's a good team player, though. Could be someone again to put onto your third line. I don't think he'll make as much of a noise as a second line or first line type of player. But you can have him there on that third line. He'll bring some stability there, some supplemental goal scoring. But, Tatar, Janssen, Zaka, they can all be moved. That whole third line can be moved. I just don't know if Fitzy will do it just yet.
So,
or at least not
Tatar,
all of them, because who are you going to call up after that?
Well, that's the thing is, you could move one or two guys and make a case to bring up Holtz, who's having a lights out year in the AHL, and give him an absolute, 100% chance on the NHL level for the remainder of the season. So there's him. There's a couple of guys. There's a couple of guys on the AHL side of things that could get a call up and could get a real solid look. Greer has been playing really well down there. There's a couple of dudes that have been putting up some pretty nice numbers down in the AHL level. So if you do trade one or two guys, it's not like we're going for a playoff spot. It's not like we're fighting for that last spot. So if you want to really get a good solid look at somebody, this is the time to do it. So you get rid of, Jimmy Vesey, you get rid of maybe a Tatar, you maybe get rid of Andreas Janssen, sorry. And you clear room for a couple guys
if they get rid of any, they'll get rid of one of those two, not both. Definitely Vesey, definitely PK. Janssen and Tatar, I don't think Fitzy will do that.
You really don't think so? You don't think that there's a chance that both of them could go?
No, not unless he's blown away.
What makes him so keepable?
I don't think so.
Because right now, all you're doing is your Janssen has value in the sense that he could be a good third line guy paired with the right line mates could possibly do something. You saw what he was doing when he was with Bratt and when he was with Mercer. Tatar, same thing. Like, he's a valuable player with experience. I'm not expecting that they would get like a first or a second for either of these guys, but they could still get some kind of compensation that would be, reasonable. You have NHL experience and you have
that creates a pretty
contracts.
Creates a pretty big hole on the team. I don't know who you're going to have there to play in those roles. I don't know. I just don't see both of them going. I don't see Fitzy like clearing house like that. So I think he'll trade if he can one of those two. Definitely VC, definitely PK. And I mean, right there, you got two guys coming up from AHL. You need a defenseman and you need a forward coming up right there.
Yeah, so Riley Walsh finally gets his chance. Because we saw Kevin Ball last year, right? So you would bring up Riley Walsh to fill in that PK role. Then you also have, and don't forget, you have Colton White, who's who basically comes into the lineup anytime somebody's hurt. So maybe you give him more of like a steady role on the defensive side of things. And then,
so then why would you bring up Riley Walsh then? Because then he's never going to play.
No. I'm just saying, like, let's say that the Devils are in a situation where they don't want to really break up Utica because they want Utica to get the experience. So you just put Colton White into the lineup where he's on a everyday basis instead of just kind of a fill-in role. You might want to call up one guy from the AHL, maybe somebody that's not as important to that lineup that could be in that Colton White role in case somebody does get hurt. Keep in mind, there could be other moves, like Damon Severson has been rumored to be on the move as well. So it's not just like, okay, PK, one other guy. Boom,
that's the Sam Wu burner account again, going online everywhere trying to create those rumors. Is that what's happening? It happens every trade deadline.
Probably. I mean, he's putting that rumor out there. It's a really strong rumor.
Wham Sue everywhere.
Wham Sue.
Yeah.
I like that. Wham Sue. Sounds like a bad soup. What happened? Oh, I got diarrhea. I was eating Wham Sue. It's real salty. It's very salty. I think it's made in PA. But anyways, there's no real idea of like what this team is going to do. It's like I said before, there seems like there's a scout at like every single game, which is not uncommon. Don't get me wrong. That's not like it's, oh, wow, this is unusual. But they do have a scout or somebody, a representation at each game. It seems like Fitzy being at that Boston game could be many reasons. He does have a lot of family up there, so it could have been that. So people could be looking into it a little bit more than it should. But there's a lot of pieces that
lives there.
I know, exactly. That's what I just said. Did you just hear the words coming out of my face hole? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but other people seem to not realize that. I don't understand why.
I don't know. Neither do I. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
Mysteries. Secrets.
Yes. Wham Sue, what's up?
Yes, Wham Sue. Do you need something?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
He just shows up, and then he's gone. So, as we've been saying for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, who knows what's going to happen with this team in 2 weeks now. But
I just hope they keep playing the way they're playing now. They're actually showing some signs of consistency.
Fun hockey.
Jack Hughes has been playing great. Jesper Bratt's been playing great. We need Nico to. I hope Nico comes back for the West Coast trip here, because he was starting to they were all starting to rack up the points, which is what we really like to see. I know Sam and I talk about it on Devils After Dark. How nice would it be to finally have a 60-point player once again on this team? And the idea of having 3 of them,
what a concept!
I know. Hopefully, Nico can come back in time and maybe grind it out and get himself there and get himself up to a career high points, which would be nice. That's progress all in the way that we want to see it. But I just want to see them continue to play the same way. Because they've been playing good.
Fun hockey, even when they lose. Hey, listen, if you're going to lose like they did to Winnipeg. I mean, I hate to see them lose, but at least it was entertaining where you're engaged and wanted to watch the whole game.
No sleepwalking.
Yeah. It was like, wow, look at it. And you know what? That was one of those games where you're like, they deserved to win or at least get a point in that game. That was a team. They've had problems with Winnipeg. Got to think they're like 0-9 or something like that in the last 9 home games against Winnipeg. Like, Winnipeg has just owned the Devils, like absolutely owned them. It's like Columbus and Winnipeg feel like they completely destroy the Devils every time. But you look at the way they played in that game, and it's like it was entertaining. They had majority of the play in Winnipeg's zone. And that was the thing too. Like, I was talking to my buddy and I'm like, man, if they had somebody that wasn't named Jack, Nico, or Jesper that could finish on this team right now, they'd be so dangerous. If they had another, like, if they had that, you have your first line and your second line.
Alexander, please report to the NHL.
if they had
Yeah,
somebody
we're ready
that
for
could
you
just
to
be,
score goals now.
and especially when you trap a team like they did, cycling the puck, moving back and forth, going, point down below the goal line and and they were moving the puck efficiently. And just every shot was just like, boom, right in the breadbasket, boom, right in the breadbasket. It was like, it didn't seem like there's a lot of like high danger area shots. If they had somebody that, because Jack goes out there and it's like, all right, there's Jack Hughes, keep your eyes on him. But if you had somebody out there, like if Holtz could translate his game from the AHL to the NHL and finally take that next step and could be that sniper and have that deadly shot from like, at the top of the circle or, anybody for that matter, it just make a world of difference, a huge, huge difference. But we got to wait and see. And that's why I'm hoping, like, after the trade deadline, if we do move on from any of these forwards, you go, all right, Alexander, here's your shot, and not give him like, hey, 5 minutes tonight, or hey, 7 minutes for Holtz tonight. No, like, get him up on the top two lines and let him roll. Let him learn from his mistakes. We're not going for a playoff spot. Let him grow and let him play with Jack or let him play with Nico or let him play with one of the top centers of the team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm down with that.
Might as well, right? Got to check out the goods. Got to check out the goods.
I think so.
See what they're working with.
We should see what everybody is saying on the old Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live. Thank you, everyone, for all the comments, the likes, the follows, the subscribes. We really do appreciate it. Douglas Walker thinks Sharangovich needs to elevate his game. Okay.
He has moments. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Ray Leo agrees. They've been extremely competitive, even in the losses. Yeah.
Yeah, you read it like that.
Well, I mean,
Sharangovich, that's true. Sharangovich, but the thing is about Sharangovich is like he's not that shifty. He's not going to go in there and score a goal like Holtz would score. Sharangovich is like he's gonna be the guy that's in a slot that's making the perfect shot. And if you move Sharangovich down to the third line, and this is something that you always bring up, if you put him on a third line so he could expose other teams' third lines, I think that's where he would shine. But the problem is I feel like he also needs somebody that's going to be kind of like keeping his motor going and like setting him up with like high-end opportunities.
Like
but
Jack
if you
Hughes?
put him like a Jack Hughes, yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
Bo Horvat?
Or see if we got Bo.
We could have had him.
And then get Bo. Get him the darn Duke
circle.
boys. Yeah.
It's all going to come full circle. See, that's all that's going to happen.
Right.
The thing with Bo is we could have had him in 2013 draft, but we decided to go after a goaltender during our rebuilding phase.
Yeah. What a moment that was, though. At the draft. You're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to hear this.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a loud booze, if you remember.
Oh, I was
here.
hammered.
Talk about also rebuilding
booze.
phase.
I thought you said booze.
About rebuilding phase for a player. I just happened to see some of the Islanders highlights here. Man, Kyle Palmieri. Whew. He's got 8 goals this year. Exactly. All of his good years. All of his good years, man. We sucked them all away there. You know, like
wasted.
Just bleed him dry. Wasted. Yeah. I mean, you know what?
He got his big contract though.
He got a big contract.
No, he got a big contract.
He's wasting away in Margaritaville out there in Anaheim. So then, you know, we got him on a decent trade, and then like he flourished with the Devils, and it's, you know, he also had Taylor Hall at one point and Nico, and that was a fun line to watch. But Oh well.
It was also in our rebuild, though. Same sort of thing.
Well, he was a good piece he was a piece of that rebuild.
He was overrated.
He was never going to be a piece of the rebuild.
I don't think it was
He was over.
By the time the rebuild was done, he was going to be over, unfortunately, which is like where he is now. Oh, there he is. He's on my TV right now. I think he scored tonight, though. He's got 8 goals now on the year. Remember when everyone's like, you better re-sign him? You better re-sign him.
Nah, brah.
Poor Kyle. But he was a good soldier. And he played well.
He was awesome.
He fought hard. Oof, he just got robbed. But his best years were on a rebuilding team. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Whoops. Sorry. What can I tell you, Kyle?
At the same time, he grew up out here, so he was able to come home and make a lot of money and everything else. So
I mean, think about David Clarkson. David Clarkson had some good years here. He got that big fat contract with Toronto.
That was it.
And he retired well.
But he got hurt. What people don't forget is he got hurt. I don't know if it was his first year in Toronto or his second year in Toronto. Because by the time he was in Columbus, his career was like done. But he got hurt pretty bad, like his back or his neck or something like that. I forget. Old toe drag, David Clarkson. the best toe drag in the NHL. Clarky. I love Clarkson.
Oh, boy.
We should try to get him on the podcast, man. I would love to talk to him.
That'd be
Go
good.
for it, Sam. Put out the feelers, man. He's not doing much. I think he's like coaching or something.
Yeah, I'll send him the video. He's not doing much.
Yeah, send him this video.
Send him this message. Clarkson, he's doing nothing. Sitting on a couch, eating a bag of chips. Get him on the show, would you? I'm sure he'll want to come on now.
The thing about Clarkson is he's doing nothing right now.
What is that from? I feel like I'm an idiot that I don't know what this is from.
No, we just thought it.
Is that
it sounds like
Devil's After Dark,
right? Yeah,
it sounds like an old Conan O'Brien bit.
What happened was?
Finish
what
the
happened
sentence.
was I hit the button accidentally while I was in the middle of a thought, and I'm like, well, the thing is.
And then he hit that accidentally, and it worked so perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were doing like an old Conan O'Brien
or
bit.
SNL bit or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the year 2000.
No, that's the David Blitzer bit that we do here on this fine podcast.
That's definitely a Conan bit.
Yes.
So the West Coast swing.
No. West Coast swing, baby. Let's keep it up, Devils. Let's see how you do on this trip. I'm excited to see Nico Dawes back in there. I hope that we're all correct and saying that he's going to play back-to-back games because the team looks like a different team in front of him when he's out there playing. He really does install confidence. And actually, Thomas Tatar was talking about that as well. We get confidence from big saves. Thomas Tatar.
Yeah.
Quote
TT.
from the other night.
Big tuna.
In the press conference. We
Big
get
tunes.
confidence from the big saves.
Yeah, yellowfin.
That should say a lot. Nico Dawes has been making some big saves. Like me and Sam, we talked about Devils After Dark. A goaltender with a save percentage over 900. It's
928, I believe. 928.
Yeah, 928.
He's 5 and 3 in his 5 and 3 in his last 8, and he's got a 928 save percentage. I mean, wow. By the way, you like my New Jersey Rock and Rollers jersey? I brought it up pre-show. This jersey, I think, is like 25 years old. I bought it when I was a teenager. And I wonder to see if Scotty remembers this place. It's where the Perkins is in Greenbrook, which used to be. What was the name of that sporting goods store?
Oh, what was that sporting store? It was like Herman's or something like that.
Herman's. There you go.
Right,
Herman's Sporting Goods. That's where I got this jersey from.
Mm-hmm.
Right before they went out of business, it was like on the cheap, like $15. And I remember I walked in there. I bought it I think it was like, and a couple months later, went to a New Jersey Rock and Rollers game, which was a lot of fun. And
Was fun.
my buddies, the Palchons, they had a roller hockey team that played before the Rock and Rollers, and their team name was D's Nuts. No, Nuts. They were called the Nuts, and their chant was D's Nuts. It was fun, and it was hilarious at the same time. But
Keeping it classy.
Keeping it classy. Keep it classy. Because these guys were nuts. They were nuts. They were crazy out there. That's why. Get your mind out of the gutter, you pervert. But I found this.
You're the one chanting D's nuts over there. I mean, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, because these guys are nuts. These guys are crazy. These guys are nuts. D's nuts, right? That's okay. Anyways, the other day I was digging through my closet and I found this jersey hanging up, and I completely forgot that I had it, and I was like, "Holy cow! Look at this old relic." So I thought
that's cool. Stand up again. Let's see the little music notes on the on the edges there. Look at that. Yeah,
that's classic.
Look at that for the stripes.
All right. Look at that. The guy playing the guitar.
Yeah, and they had the puck with the three little balls in it, right?
Oh man, yeah. And we actually, when we were at the game, they shot a couple of them over the glass, and I had one, and we played hockey with that thing. Man, that hurt like a son of a bitch when you got hit with it. I'll tell you what, that was it was the hardest roller hockey puck I've ever seen in my life. But that thing was smooth. It was smooth as glass. You could be on the worst. You would be on the worst asphalt in the world, which is where most of us played roller hockey in a cul-de-sac, and you could send that thing across the parking lot, and it would be as smooth as glass. It was the best. That's the best roller hockey puck I ever played with.
We used to play at the Bridgewater parking lot across from the Bagelsmith, on the other side from the Commons all the time. Is that park where the Little League fields are and the baseball fields? No one would ever be there. We would always play in those parking lots over there.
We used to play up in Martinsville roller rink up there. We used to play up there all the time. We used to play at the Greenbrook Middle School. That was one of our places before we had a roller hockey rink and a roller hockey league in the town. We play anywhere, man. And we play other towns. We play Middlesex. We play all these different towns. It was it was straight out of a 90s movie. You guys would roll up in their pickup trucks and jump out into a parking lot. You'd play a roller hockey game, and then there would be a fist fight between two people at one point, and then you'd break it up, and then you'd have hanging out and have slushies.
I can't remember the name of that rink that they built out down 22. Past Bridgewater. I can't think of the name.
Oh, you're Milburn, the Milburn Road, or off of Milburn Road.
I can't remember the name of that one.
That rink.
But before there, the leagues we used to play at the Somerville tennis courts. That's where the leagues we used to play in. The rec and town leagues and stuff. They would take the tennis court stuff down and we would play on the tennis courts. Set up the goals on each end, and that's memories.
The glory days. The glory days.
But we
playing for 9 hours straight in the middle.
Yeah.
Playing for 9 hours straight in the middle of August, and on
bro, you've been on an 8-minute shift. You need to change. You need a line change now. You're like, no, I'm still good.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah. When you would be able to do that. And then I'll never forget, we played a game one time where we were playing, it must have been 103. I'm sorry we're going off of a tangent right now, but who cares? It was 103 degrees out, and our buddy Casper was playing goal. And he had the old Milex on, the old black Milex on. But we had full goalie gear, and that stuff reeked to high heaven. And I'll never forget, one day we were playing at my buddy down at my buddy's street at the end of the road in the cul-de-sac, and it got to the point where we played for, it was 7 hours straight or something like that. We started freaking 8 a.m, and at one point we must have been dehydrated or something. We're delusional, and we went over to my buddy's house to go jump in the pool, and all of us we jump, take your skates off, take your gear off, and you just dove right into the pool. and here comes Casper in full goal gear, and just dives straight into the pool, and like the oil slick of grossness that came off of those pads. Oh, so
sure, those
bad.
foam pads just probably started weighing them down too. Probably.
Yeah, good thing. Well, it was an out of ground pool. We're not classy on that side of 22, so nobody could afford that in ground stuff. But yeah,
not up on the hill.
Those were good old days. Not up on the hill. No way, man. Not up on the hill. Good reference. Good downfall reference.
Well, before we get way off track here, because I see we're past time. We should probably wrap it up for this week and give some final thoughts. Samu, if you want to come back and join us here for some final thoughts here as the Devils head out on this Western Canada trip, Vancouver, Calgary, and then the Edmonton Oilers. You guys are going to be on my time zone for this week, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So, yeah, and actually I'm going to be hanging out for Game Day Live on Tuesday. I'm going to fill in for Vinny, so I'm going to do some Game Day Live and Devils After Dark.
Cool, man.
It's going to be rough.
Maybe one of those days I'll try and join you for the After Dark. We'll talk about that after the show. But
how about Wednesday?
Okay.
Be like
maybe
2
we'll
a.m.
see.
in the morning.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. I changed my mind. And they're going to be a little rough. I do have work the next morning. So,
how about Saturday? We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, we'll talk after, because that might actually be a reasonable request. All right, Scotty, give her your final thought there, and I'll go after you.
My final thought is that I just want to see the continued play from Nico Daws. And, I want to see Nico Hischier get back in the lineup, of course, and keep putting those points up on the board. But I think the most important thing about this team that it was missing was goaltending. We said it a lot through the course of the season. We talked about how atrocious the goaltending was. We were going go Gillies go Gadget Gillies for a while, but the ride ended. And Gillies, he was playing a little above his head, and he did what he could, and all proud to him and happy for that. But I'm glad that we actually found solid, consistent goaltending. It's definitely calmed the fan base, I feel like. It's 100% calmed the team in front of him, and they're playing well. So I'd like to see how they make out through this little bit of adversity, playing on the road, Canada, different time zones, blah, 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 back-to-back games. Good test. Very excited about the possibilities of Nico Daws.
Yeah. I echo that sentiment exactly. I agree with everything that you just said. But what I would like to see is more push from that third line. I want to see a little bit more from some of our fourth liners as well. We got to start picking up the pace on some of these other guys. You can't just be carried by 2-3 guys on your line because or on your team. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the same position next year. They need to start getting some timely goals from some other people that are not named Jack, Nico, or Jesper. It's good to see Thomas Tatar starting to heat up, but that needs to be consistent. We can't have somebody heat up for a little bit and then cool off so much that they completely disappear. So not only do they need consistency with the goaltending, they need consistency through all four lines. I understand they're not going to be, playing for a playoff position this year, but you want to see them finish strong and you want to see them finish close to 500. And I feel like they can do that once they get consistent throughout the board. Sam?
I just hope what we're seeing right now is not fool's gold. I hope that Fitzy doesn't overreact and makes a stupid trade. I think there's a lot of great pieces here. They just need time to develop, and we can see some of that chemistry, some of that potential on display with Hughes and Bratt. Even Damon Severson has played very, very well. Has been a pleasant surprise after, last season where the butt puck, and he just seemed to be always in the plays where stupid things happened. But now he's number one quarterback on the power play at the moment. And he's part of the whole renaissance of their power play. So with that said, I'm hoping that this trip, which is probably going to be a defining moment in Tom Fitzgerald's tenure, how he sets up next season, and what kind of deals that he can make. But if Tom Fitzgerald does not make a deal on deadline, it does not hurt the Devils. It's just really, if there's a deal that to be made, it's going to improve the team overall, both short term and long term. So I think Fitzgerald's going to be patient, and we have yet to see Muhammadulin, which concerns me right now where he's at, and will he be able to transfer and play in North America? But that 2020 draft, third round was Nico Dawes. You talk about Alexander Holtz ripping it up in the AHL level. They are taking time with him. Dawson Mercer's already ahead of schedule. Started the season with the team. He's still flourishing with the team. And that was Tom Fitzgerald's first draft as GM of the Devils. Give it some time, because we haven't seen 2021 yet. All we've seen is highlight reels of Luke Hughes at Michigan. Chase Stillman, we see the highlight of him pushing somebody from behind that couldn't skate and somehow gets suspended for it. But the point is I think the Devils will do just fine if even they do nothing by next week.
All right.
So, all right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I like it.
Well,
We'll be back on Tuesday. Oh, go ahead.
Yep. No, one last comment. Heads Up Hockey on YouTube Live says he's on loan for the Devils contract, Muhammadulin, per cap friendly, but there are international laws involved.
There's a lot going on right now.
There's some things going on, yeah. So
yeah. So, but he may. You know what? Evgeny Malkin, I think the story goes how he came to the North America is he had to, unfortunately had to. The story goes he was in the back of a pickup truck and smuggled out. I think that's to get out of his KHL contract. If you remember back in 2006 or something like that, I think that's what the story was. I'll have to look that up. But all right, Scotty, why don't you finish it up? Tuesday, Devils After Dark.
Tuesday. Well, don't forget Monday.
Live.
You got the Monday. You got Hockey on Tap, dudes. Going to be coming your way. Talking a lot of good stuff. And then Tuesday, we might get a little woo report in the morning. And then I'll be coming around and hang out for Game Day Live before the Vancouver Canucks, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right. West Coast time. And then Devils After Dark. Woo-hoo-hoo. That'll be the real After Dark. It'll be Wednesday for you, but still Tuesday for me out here on the West Coast. Starting around probably 12:30, 1 o'clock a.m. Oh, yeah. Devils After Dark, Game Day Live. Big games this week. Vancouver, Calgary. See if we get Nico Dawes back-to-back.
Absolutely. Want to thank all those watching. Till next time, let's go Devils.